Can you move over a bit, maybe?
My ass is big. Okay. I'm a child.
Okay. How do I look?
Cute.
Do I look cute?
Mm.
Thank you.
Very cute.
You look cute too. Yes.
I never questioned that. Every intro you're doing this thing. I never questioned if I look cute or not. You're the one that keeps bringing it up and acting like I need to know.
Love you.
Love you.
I love you, my wife and the mother of my baby.
I love you too, baby daddy.
What's up, guys? I'm Alano.
I'm Khanya.
And in today's video, what are we doing?
We are doing answering awkward marriage questions or juicy marriage questions. So the first question is, how often do we have sex, and is it less now that you're pregnant? That's a 2-for-1er.
Okay, I get the game now. But I was like, there's awkward and then there's awkward.
They're just invasive. Like you never ask someone this face to face.
I'm not
but-
answering this one first.
What do you mean?
You must answer this one.
Why must I answer it?
I don't know, because that's the law.
So there's no number. I think we even mentioned in the previous video, it was less during the first trimester when I felt pregnant because I was just, sir, get you and yours away because I'm not feeling well.
More during the second trimester
yeah.
because the energy kicked in.
Yeah, and then also your sex drive, because obviously it's hormones. Your sex drive is, like, I'm feeling him. That's all I'm going to say.
She tells me that all the time. I kind of like it, you know, it's good for my confidence. She's just like, damn, baby, you're so fine. I was like, I am fine. I'm so fine. So I've been feeling that.
But I will say that we've always had a very, very active sex life. This is
Yes.
probably the
least
active
that we've
been.
For sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
That's
I
what I'm
mean,
gonna say.
yeah. I'm going to continue to allude to how we got here. But, yeah, let's just say that was very active. Next question. Move on.
Did you plan your pregnancy?
No.
No. What?
No.
Why did you go as if, oh, this is juicy?
Juicy.
No.
No, just no. For lots of different reasons, but one of them...
There will be a story time, by the way, on how we felt
we will
pregnant.
do a story time on
Yeah.
that. But one of it is that you've been struggling with your health for the last year and a half now.
I just want to correct him. He was about to say, because I was sick, we weren't planning on having kids. I think because I was sick, we ended up having kids.
No, we ended up having kids
sabotaged us
because
yes,
you were
we
sick,
thought
but
that-
we actually like...
We thought that
Yeah.
I wouldn't be because of the meds that I was on. They were messing with my cycle.
And then like you being sick was
here
also
now.
just like a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we wanted to sort of just like get
Focus
to
on
an
that,
easier
yeah.
place, like focus on the difficult period that you're going to get to an easier place and then come back to the issue of kids.
But even if my health was 100,
Yeah.
we had always planned to adopt. We were actually starting the process. The older sister was just like, you guys think I'm going to be an only child? You guys think I'm not going to be around? So we'll definitely have at least 2 kids now, for sure,
Yeah.
because of that. And, you know, whether they are adopted or biological, it's always the same for us. There's no...
Oh no, like if I'm a parent of a child,
I'm a parent of a
regardless
child.
of how
They came to,
they came
yeah.
to me, that's it.
Yeah,
like we're
yeah.
moving with that. Yeah.
The most embarrassing thing you've done in front of each other?
I've done some dumb things, but yeah, I tend to not be embarrassed about some of the dumb things that I do.
No,
so,
we've laughed at
yeah,
how
just-
embarrassing some of the dumb things
Yeah.
he said. I'm like, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have anything embarrassing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm embarrassed by that.
Um,
Number 4.
each other's biggest icks.
There's nothing about you that icks me, actually. I know there's lots of things about me that icks you, but honestly, I can't think of anything. And this is not the first time that this question has been asked as well, but there's nothing that really icks me about anything that you do. More than anything, I just think it's funny.
He chews with his mouth. He talks and chews with his mouth open.
Yeah, she hates that.
It's not on.
If we're eating and we're having a conversation and you say something interesting and that like sparks an idea, I'll just go with it, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like one of the things that I do with Khanya a lot is think out loud.
That's not the problem. The problem is that it's a monologue. There's no space for engagement. He's not asking my opinion.
Yeah.
He's running, and now I'm trapped. I'm just sitting
You
here.
just sit there,
He's
listen,
Like,
yeah.
he's not asking me questions. I'm not involved in the
Yeah.
conversation. It's a complete monologue, and now I have to be there. And they can last an hour, right? And I say I say nothing the whole hour because he's talking.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just lost that hour.
I don't know, like sometimes like in my head, I can get lost and that can actually be like verbal as well. Like I
Yes.
think through a lot of things, but I think out loud.
Yes.
And we've had to have a conversation about that a couple times because she doesn't need to know like everything
Every
that's being
single
thought out
thought.
loud. So that's something that I've had to pay more attention to, which when I think about it would irritate the shit out of me if someone else did it to me.
When people monologue with him, he can't stand it. He can get very busy and it can overwhelm him to be responsible for certain things he's not used to being responsible for. And especially if it's all on the same day. So now the tenant is doing this, this person's doing this, whatever. Our gardener will just interrupt him to talk about nonsense or whatever it is. And then he comes back and then he's like, yes, this kind of like, I've got things to do today. And I'm just like, you can't be upset.
That's true, but I stand there and I wait until he finishes saying what he wanted to say.
And then he's like,
and
"You
then
think
I
Miss
and then I
Honey-"
wait. That is true.
You never talk about, this is a DM that I got. You never talk about your proposal. Was it bad?
No, baby. The proposal was obvious. The proposal was obvious.
I
like
think
I
a
didn't
lot
surprise
more
you.
thought could have been put into it.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yes, I think
it
a
was.
lot
It's
more thought can be
it's
put into
it's tricky though because you look at the proposals that happen on TV and whatnot, right? But in order for me to propose to you, we had to go through the Lobola negotiation process.
Okay.
So, I mean, once we showed up to that and we went through it, it was obvious. Like we were basically engaged already at that point. So
Well, that's cultural. That's not, there's no ring. So once
yes,
your
but there's also no
negotiation's done-
surprise.
But that's fine. But there was never going to be a surprise because he and I talked in depth about engagement, being married. Am I ready to be engaged? Is he? Are we thinking about that right now? Even before the negotiations, we were just like, do we want to enter into this? And we talked in depth. So there was never going to be a surprise. I think that it's healthy to talk about marriage and being engaged and those kinds of things and your future plans in a relationship. So there was never going to be an element of surprise anyways. And also, yeah, I just think...
And
there
no, it wasn't romantic.
It's dramatic.
Like it definitely wasn't
It wasn't
romantic.
dramatic at all.
I asked and she answered.
You
Can I actually have
propose
to?
again.
Can I actually
You
have to
do
read?
that again.
I'm trying to learn how to be more romantic.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Yeah, I don't think we even have proper photos. Even the video doesn't look like it just wasn't.
No, it just wasn't
it wasn't
like
well thought out.
it wasn't Instagrammable. Let me put it that way. Next question, please move on. It's getting hot in here. Ooh, it's getting so hot in here.
Was it bad? Oh, anyways.
That was uncalled for you. It was unnecessary.
Number 6. How has marriage been? It's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun for me as well.
Yeah, it's been easy, but our relationship's always been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've spoken to people before and they were like, yeah, like when they got married, like when they had that quiet moment where they both looked into each other's eyes and they were like, this is it. This is like, we've never had that really. After getting married, I feel like we've always sort of had that though, like in our relationship,
Yes.
because we started to really seriously talk about being together in whatever capacity, probably like a year and a half into
I
our
was gonna say
relationship.
2 years into our relationship. Yeah.
That's when Khanya started asking me like serious questions, like
Like, what's the
your
future?
plan? What's your plan for the future? Like, who do you want to be in 10 years? What do you want to...
I
Khanya
wasn't
started
good one.
asking
I
like
wasn't gonna
those
spend
kinds of
another year
questions.
with someone who wasn't being serious or who wasn't working on themselves at the very least. Like,
Yeah.
you
But
can
we
have-
were in film school when she started asking me this.
Yes.
And I was just like, dude, I'm in film school. Like, I'm literally doing something right now for the future. But when
is
we
that
had met,
future?
I hadn't thought about what the future after film school was going to be. Like,
Yeah.
in the beginning, I was a bit uncomfortable because I was like, damn, like, we've only been dating a year and a half. But I quickly after that was like, okay, no, well, if I see myself being with Khanya, it doesn't matter whether we are together a year or 6 months or a year and a half. If these are the conversations that is going to make her feel comfortable, if these are the conversations that she thinks we need to have, then those are the conversations that need to be had.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm asking these questions knowing that everyone has every right to change their mind. So I wasn't going to hold them to what he said more than he's got ambition. I see him acting towards X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That's why I'm over-explaining, because usually I don't explain why I kind of am the way I am. But I'm over-explaining so that you can understand where I was coming from during those early years.
Yeah.
And also,
No, I
I
got
want
that.
women out there to understand that you don't have to get to the end of a 5-6 year relationship and realize that you wasted your 20s or you wasted your time.
That's a conversation that my dad actually had with me very early on, like 18, 19 years old. when I started talking about like, this is the girl that I'm dating, etc. And my dad was just like, and I didn't even like give him any reason to do this, but he was just like, bro, this is something you need to know. But like, don't ever go out and waste another human being's time.
Don't.
And he like said human being, and then he was like, so like your girlfriend or friends or whatever,
Yeah.
like don't waste another person's time.
Yeah.
If you're serious with this girl, then do things so that she understands that you are serious, so that so that even if you do break up, there was value there in the relationship.
Yeah, and then if you're not serious, let her know so that you can consciously enter this situation.
Yeah.
Um,
And not like be in a relationship
Expecting
filled with
things.
hopes and dreams, but
Yeah.
like no like knees to chest, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, how did we get here? The question was, how has marriage been? Good.
Oh shit. I think we just answered the embarrassing moment question from before. Okay, now I feel stupid. Anyway, let's move on.
Anyways.
Next question, please.
How did you ask for a prenup? Well, I guess
Ooh.
then our previous answer makes sense. We just discussed it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that we were like, we're not going to enter into a marriage being scared to discuss important
Yeah.
matters. You can't
Yeah.
marry people that you're
Yeah.
scared to discuss important matters
Yeah.
with. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. We just so happened to agree on the prenup conversation, but we found out that we agreed about the prenup situation before, after we started the conversation.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't like an iffiness to have that conversation, but Khanya and I both, we were just like, dude, like let's just do, like what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours type of prenup.
And what's ours is
And what
we'll
ours is
split.
ours is, yeah.
It also gives us incentive to build things together.
But also to be ambitious, like on our own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he needs to still build personal assets. I need to build personal assets.
And then the ones that we want to
and the
build,
ones we want to build
together.
as well.
Yeah.
So that's
No,
how
dude,
we
like,
see it.
yo, if you're unmarried and you sign a prenup,
Sign a
a
prenup,
prenup, it's, I don't know, to me, it just logically makes a lot of sense.
And also, I want to say about prenups, it's not about I plan on breaking up with you. You're not signing a prenup because you have the intention of divorce.
Nobody
the
has
same
the-
way
yeah.
that you aren't taking out car insurance with the intention of getting to a wreck, are you?
Yes.
So you are taking that out in case it does happen, and you are making that version of yourself that you might never meet
Yeah.
more secure.
Yeah.
You might never meet the version of yourself that needs to claim from car insurance or needs to claim from life or
Yeah.
whatever it is, right?
Or needs to get their shit from their prenup. Yeah.
You might never ever meet that person, but you still need to advocate for them. That's
Yeah.
your personal responsibility.
I would never want to be in a position where you couldn't get out of our marriage.
Oh my gosh.
If
that
you
would-
wanted to.
If you felt trapped in our marriage, oh my gosh, it would
And
devastate me.
But that's a conversation that you and I had very early on too, is that the both of us, we have this inherent need to have a level of freedom.
Yes.
Like neither of us like the feeling of being like confined or trapped or anything like that. And for me, it's like as bad as like small spaces, but also as big as like
claustrophobia.
life experiences.
Yeah.
Like,
I think trying to manipulate or control someone's free will to me it's a little bit abusive, it's a little bit manipulative, it's a little bit I don't know, there's something
Yeah.
ick about it.
Yeah.
That gives me the ick. And that's why I'm not someone that tries to bend anyone's free will. And I don't try to manipulate anyone into any corner. We can discuss something and then you make your decision, and I'm never going to punish you for your decision. And I would like to be treated the same way. And that's, you know, from something as little as what I want to eat or how I want to eat it at a restaurant. Someone was like, we were eating somewhere, it was a trench town, whatever, and then they were like, yo, dude, my mom would kill you if she saw you putting salt on your food before you tasted it. What does any of this
what does that have to do with anything?
with her? That is so controlling. I was like, what are you saying to me?
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Yeah.
as small as that to I will eat my food, enjoy it the way I like to eat and enjoy it. I will listen to the music, dress the way I want to dress, and I always allow other people to do the same. All the way to if Alano doesn't want to be in this relationship anymore, I can communicate that I still want it and I think we should fight for it, but nonetheless I respect his
The
ability
decision,
to leave.
yeah.
And I'm not going to punish him for it.
Yeah. What that means, though, is that we can have spirited debate.
Yes.
Heated and spirited debate, because I need to be able to explain to Khanya what I'm thinking in the decision that I'm trying to make, especially if she doesn't agree with the decision, right? Because I don't want to make decisions, then Khanya must come along for the ride, because then I've taken her
Free will.
her choice away from
Yeah.
it, right? So yeah, like, but I think it helps a lot, especially when we learned how to communicate, that we can have heated discussions. We can even disagree with each other without it impacting our relationship because
Yeah.
we understand that we're both trying to go in the same direction. Sometimes we just think that there are different routes to do it.
Don't you feel? I feel very much like our stance has also encouraged me to be more independent. Like, I don't need your buy-in, your agreement, your whatever it is to move forward with something that I'm passionate about or that I feel strongly about. And you don't need my buy-in, opinion, approval, or whatever it is for you to move forward with your passions. And I think that's very liberating. I think.
But we're also open to asking for support and offering support.
Yes.
Like, I don't need to understand what it is that she's trying to do. I just need to know that she's given it enough thought and she's made the decision. And if she requires my help, then I'm going to like assist where I can.
But also the opposite. If I don't want your fingers in this, I'm allowed to say that, right?
Yes.
And obviously that might hurt to hear. Like in the beginning, with all of my ideas, I would always try to bring like Alano on board. And you know, if he didn't want to, that was fine. But then where the disconnect was that he felt that maybe we then shouldn't move in that direction. We'd rather do this. I'm like, no,
Yes.
you don't get to like piss on my party or my
Yeah.
parade. And then I think vice versa, where I'm like, I have this idea, there's a lot behind it, I've done the research, there's a lot of money behind it. He doesn't want to hop on, and I'm like, oh my god, does he not want to like, you know,
Yeah.
go down this and that? I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
So
No,
we had to learn.
Yeah, it was tough in the beginning
Yeah.
because Kanya's mom is an entrepreneur. So Khanya grew up
yes.
around like a culture of entrepreneurship, and I didn't. So I was much more risk averse in the
Yes.
beginning than what Khanya was.
Yeah.
And I had to explain to Khanya why I was risk averse, why I wasn't jumping and leaping and doing the things that entrepreneurs really do need to do. So it did take a couple of years actually, because you're trying to unlearn a lot of things that you just assumed were truthful and accurate about the life of an entrepreneur, right? What it
Yeah.
requires, etc. But like, yeah, I just slowly started to chip away at those limiting beliefs, like just believing that I can't own a business. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then once you have the proof of shit, I can do this. I'm actually really good at it. It's actually very successful. That's when we really started to
Which you
get
are.
on the same page. But in the beginning, it was tough. So that question is a little tricky because there was us in the beginning and there was us right now, and I answered it from where we are now, because that's
talk
how
to
I
us.
feel
Yeah.
right now. But I didn't always feel that way. Sometimes it was tough.
Yeah. Would you punch your partner for $1 billion? Yes. I wouldn't even give you a warning.
If I found out that you passed on the opportunity to punch me for a bill,
If you,
it's over
It's
between,
over.
because
We're
you obviously
done.
don't have any like sense.
yeah,
any
and
business
I don't want to
sense,
be with an
any
idiot.
life
Yeah,
sense.
I don't want to be with
Like,
a moron.
shit, man, I could get a new jaw for a freaking. Even if you broke the whole thing off, I got a new jaw, bro.
That's my other thing. Neither of us are Mike Tyson. We're gonna be fine at the end of this punch, and then we've got $1 billion. If I ever found out that he lost us $1 billion, no.
I'm gonna say no, just because I don't want to get cancelled, yo.
I will cancel you. I will cancel you.
Can you listen? I'll slap the shit out of you, okay?
Like,
I will slap the
Just
shit
one.
out of you
Just one. And you know what?
for a bill, and I'll apologize for the rest of my life after that.
You wouldn't even have to. The minute that check clears, I'm done. I've forgiven you. Like, the minute the check's cleared, what just happened?
Listen, I'm giving you permission right now. Punch me. Knock me out, bro.
Bro,
Like, hit me so hard that I go to the peaceful place.
I might hit you twice just to make sure. Yeah, just to
I
make
want you
sure.
to see the euphoria in my eyes as I go down, bro.
I want to look restful. I want to look
Yeah.
peaceful. Like, are you insane?
Yo. give
Don't
me
be
kiss.
crazy.
Thank you. I
Don't be
like that we
crazy.
both agree on that.
Yeah. And by the way, this is from a couple that like we don't put hands on each other, like obviously.
Yeah.
And not even like a joking way or like a little slap here, whatever. Like we just don't do that. And we're just like, I would leave you.
You knocked me out, bro.
I want you to know that you will put me in the best sleep of my life. Like I want you to know. Oh, my
man.
god. Okay, reasons you would divorce.
You. We've spoken about this before, actually.
We have.
Too
It's
much for
all
people that are
circumstantial.
happily married. Too much for people that are happily married. Oh yeah, I can tell them some of the stuff that you've said to me.
Okay.
Like, not so much the cheating, but the lying about the cheating. Like, it's the cheating part, it's the lying part of the cheating that is really the nail in the coffin for you.
Yes.
Not like the being with another person. And she explained it like very clearly to me. She was like, because with the lying, right, there's like, as your partner, I don't know that you're with other people. So you open up like a whole new list of issues like STDs, for instance,
Yes.
HIV, etc.
Yes.
And like, there was a very, very famous person in South Africa that is being accused of doing something like that. You know what I
Yes,
mean? And
yeah.
like, that was mortifying to hear that a woman can't have kids because the dude was cheating.
Yeah.
That's what people are saying. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
So that's like one thing. If I start cheating on you, the lying
And it
part of the
impacts
cheating,
my
yeah.
health. Because you obviously don't care about my life at that point when you're threatening my health
Yes,
like that.
and that's not even like an overreaction.
No, it's
because you
not.
can seriously hurt someone else's
Completely change the
physical
direction of their
well-being.
life.
Yeah, just by doing something like that.
Yeah. And then it was also the treating me like an idiot. You okay?
Yeah, I just
Because now you're actively treating me like a fool. Like you are watching me hug you and go, oh, I love you, baby, kisses, whatever, as if
yeah.
everything's okay. Meanwhile, it's not. So I must be boo-boo to you.
yeah. No, it's very misleading.
Yeah, and it's like I deserve a little bit more recognition for my like intelligence and person and dignity than that.
Yeah. So lying is a big thing for us. Even like with the both of us have decided we'd rather be brutally honest
Yes.
than cover up things with lies, and I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Me too.
Sometimes it's tough to hear that I haven't been as helpful in and around the house, right? But that's the pain that makes you more fucking helpful.
Yes.
In and around. That's how the way that I look at it.
Yeah.
So I'd rather somebody just be brutally honest with me, because then I can make a decision about how I move forward, as opposed to lying to me, because now
But that
I'm
goes
being
back to
manipulated,
being-
right?
But that goes back to Boo Boo the Fool.
Yeah.
So now you're walking around all happy, thinking that everything's fine in the house, and I'm happy, and meanwhile I'm building this resentment towards you because your goofy ass face doesn't even know, that X, Y, and Z is wrong, and now I'm treating you like an idiot, and then I also don't give you the opportunity to fix it or let me understand your perspective or for us to work it out.
Yeah. So that's definitely a big thing. If we ever divorce, kids will probably play a big role in that.
Big role in that.
Because I chose to be in this relationship. Khanya chose to be in this relationship. There's no definitive proof that she, the baby, chose to be in this relationship.
Yes, but
right?
we had to take the
But we chose for her to be here. So that means that she has to be the main priority, because she didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
And anything that happens in our relationship and our marriage, it starts to impact our baby in a very, very negative, detrimental way. I would
Health,
rather us
safety.
co-parent with a happy child than have the illusion of a happy marriage with a miserable child. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
Because we
would-
aren't being... The environment that the two of us are creating isn't good for the baby. I would rather just be...
I hope that if I'm ever a threat to our child, you would take our child, take full custody until the threat is neutralized, and bounce. I genuinely, that is my hope, because if I'm ever in a place where I'm a threat to our child, I'm probably not doing well mentally anyways. I'm probably not someone who's safe to be around anyways.
Yeah,
and I'm probably not-
because that's like so out of character for
it's
both
so out of
for both
character.
you and
It's
myself.
So
as
out of
well,
character. And I hope that you would be able to put whatever our history is, whatever your feelings are, and all of that aside and bounce, knowing that you might leave me confused,
Yeah.
might leave me being angry, might leave me whatever because I don't understand.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
That would that
It
sounds
sucks.
terrible.
No, it's terrible.
yeah.
But right now, as I am of sober mind and feelings and health and all that kind of stuff, I want you to know that my priority, I don't prioritize you above our child. I don't prioritize this relationship above our child. And it is my hope that you don't prioritize me or this
Yeah.
relationship above our child either.
No,
Yeah.
I prioritize the baby over everything. What I do want is to create a good environment where, because there's this like tendency to go with this either or thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to either or. It's not either the baby or you. We need to be able to create an environment where all of us can be happy and can thrive,
Yeah, but creating it can't come at the cost
No,
of the child.
no, it can't. It
Yes.
can't. The kid always has to
So
be.
now, it's one thing if we as adults must endure a period of bullshit and hardships because we're trying to figure something out. I don't want my child to have to endure that because first of all, as a kid, you've got minimal free will anyways.
Yeah.
So whatever you do have, what little you do have, I'd like to preserve.
Khanya and I call that. Khanya and I call those shit sandwiches, by the way.
Yeah, we can eat
Where
them.
like
We're
sometimes
not
you
gonna
just have
force-feed
to
our
eat a
child.
shit sandwich.
Yeah.
But definitely it's so that my child doesn't have to eat one. And
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
I don't have any more questions.
I like playing this game.
I should have gotten some more. I just thought 10 because we can sometimes talk or over-explain. I thought 10 would be...
Listen, we did talk and we did over-explain. I'm sorry, guys.
Hopefully they also didn't pick up all the grumbling that my stomach's been doing. I haven't had breakfast yet.
We can go make some food right now.
There's leftover spur. We have a spur burger. Some onion rings. Some chips. What about you?
There's only one burger and you're eating for two. So I will.
That's not a real thing,
I'll
by the
make
way.
myself a sandwich.
Eating for two isn't a real thing.
I know, but still.
Or we can quickly run out and go get something. Go to
Yeah.
Woolies, see what ready meals they might have.
Yeah. I can eat ice cream now, people. I
Thank
found
you so
these
much,
amazing
guys.
pills that help me to eat ice cream. Okay, bye.
It's starting to feel like, what is that? Those multi-level marketing things? Those, like, schemes. It's starting to feel like that.
Those pyramid schemes.
Yes, it's starting to feel like you're in a pyramid scheme.
Yo,
Where you keep like
bro.
talking about these pills.
Listen, like, I don't think you understand how delicious a McFlurry is when you haven't been able to have it for years. So,
I'm happy for you.
I'm gonna go do that now, guys. Bye-bye.